Because of the low temperature in the mountains, the group took a break to have some warm tea. Yarandrala was still happy after reuniting with Red, and that he was already living together with Rit. She also suggested that they move to the kingdom of Kuraman with her. The couple were surprised, while Rudy immediately rejected, so Yarandrala asked them to hear her out first. Kuraman is the biggest city-state on the continent of Avalon. It has spring-like weather because of magic. High elves live in this state, and Yarandrala declared that they would never betray their allies and friends. Red thought it came out of nowhere, but Yarandrala was still upset that he got kicked out of the heroes' party despite working so hard for them. Red thought it was inevitable, as he couldn't keep up with the battles anymore. However, for Yarandrala, it was still unacceptable, and she wanted to adventure with Red even if he became a dead weight. She also couldn't understand how a princess like Rit was left alone by her own country. As if it were her, she wouldn't let Rit set off alone, even if it was her own decision. Red and Rit were thankful for Yarandrala's concern, but they still refused to come with her, as they were living happily in Zoltan after developing great friendships with the people living there. Yarandrala was worried that Red would get betrayed again. However, Red thought it was fine, as the kind of friendship he has with the people of Zoltan was more than enough for him. Yarandrala looked dejected, so Red and Rit invited her to live with them instead. She agreed, although she thought that Kuraman was still the best. Red started preparing more tea because of the chilly weather. However, Tis suddenly interrupted them, saying that she knew a place where they could warm up. Tis brought them to a hot spring, and while they were amazed by the beautiful view, Yarandrala hugged Rudy. She was happy that Rudy was finally free to live her life the way she wanted. At the same time, Tis rated the hot spring with a score of 95. She explained that she deducted 5 points because it was too far from Zoltan. Afterwards, Rit asked what kind of monster the gem giants were, so Rudy explained that they gain energy by cutting gems, and Tis added that it was similar to how they needed to eat to survive, although Rit thought it wasn't too relatable when she tried imagining it. Yarandrala asked if the gem giants had the gems they were looking for. Rit affirmed, and she explained that they would exchange the Zoltanian glass for it as Red was sure that they would like it. Yarandrala was happy for Rit, but she also asked where Red was, and when she heard that he was bathing alone, Yarandrala came to join him. Rit also joined, as she couldn't stop Yarandrala. Tis asked Rudy if she was fine with Red and Rit getting married. Rudy admitted that she actually wanted Rit to marry Red, but surprisingly, Rudy wanted to be Red's lover even if they couldn't get married. Tis was completely dumbfounded after hearing it. Mogram wasn't happy when he heard that Yarandrala invited Red and Rit to live in Kuraman. Yarandrala argued that they would have better lives there, but Mogram called the High Elves lawless and said that it was better for the couple to stay in Zoltan with the dwarves. Rit was surprised that High Elves really don't get along with dwarves, while Red was speechless. The group finally arrived at the Gem Giants settlement. However, they immediately noticed that something was off. The leader of the Gem Giants apologized that they couldn't offer anything to welcome them. The group didn't mind it, and Red immediately took out the Zoltanian glass, saying that they wanted to trade it. The Gem Giants thought it was beautiful. However, their leader explained that they didn't have any gems left to offer in exchange for it. Hearing this, Red and Rit looked at each other worriedly. At the same time, a little gem giant approached the group to stare closely at the glass. His mother tried to stop him, but Red actually gave him the glass, so the little gem giant rejoiced after thanking Red. He also made a small cut in the glass to gain some energy. Mogram was amazed after seeing this, while Red immediately offered the rest of the glass they had. He also told the leader of the Gem Giants to split it among themselves as they needed it to survive, and that they didn't have to offer anything in exchange. And Rudy was already prepared to distribute the glasses, so the leader finally accepted them. The other Gem Giants rejoiced, while their leader offered eternal friendship to Red and his group to show their gratitude. The Gem Giants happily sliced the glasses to gain energy. Rudy asked Red why Demis created the Gem Giants to be this way, as every living being was created to have a purpose. Red explained that by defeating Gem Giants, humans can obtain gems. He thought they were meant to become enemies in order to develop their blessings, and because of this, battles were unavoidable. However, the siblings didn't agree with this. They didn't want the monsters to exist just to be fodder for blessings. The leader of the Gem Giants thanked the group again, but Red immediately asked what was happening to their settlement. The leader explained that the Gem Beast, a monster that turns everything in its vicinity into a poisonous lead imbued with magic, had started living in it. Rudy realized that it may be related to the weakened Zug's forest, while Yarandrala thought the region would be in trouble if the groundwater got contaminated by lead, so they had to defeat the monster. Rit asked how they would fight it, but Red had no idea either, as based on the historical records, the wood elves failed to beat the monster as well, and there was no other mention of the monster. The warriors of the gem giants had also fallen to the gem beast, so their leader was worried that Red's group would suffer the same fate. But Red declared that they couldn't just ignore the monster. Afterwards, the group went to the southern mine, where the gem beast was located. They didn't forget to prepare potions for the battle, and they immediately looked for the monster. However, the monster found them instead, and it welcomed them with an energy blast. They were able to dodge thanks to Rudy's warning, and they were in disbelief seeing the attack turn the rocks into lead. The massive gem beast showed up from underneath the ground, and it immediately channeled energy into its mouth. Rudy charged to the front to block its attack with her sacred shield. Although the shield shattered, she managed to protect everyone and herself. Yarandrala tried to immobilize the monster using vines, but the vines immediately rotted, while Rit and Tiss's attacks were useless against the monster's hard skin, as even Rudy's sword broke when she slashed at the monster. Rudy took out another sword and led their attack. She managed to push back the monster, but she still failed to do any significant damage. The monster fell, but Red noticed that the impact was weak considering its size, and he wondered if it was using magic to prop up its body. Meanwhile, Rudy tried to land a powerful blow at the monster, but it used her sacred shield to block her sword. Before using Yarandrala's Thornbind and their other spells back at them, Yarandrala thought the monster was troublesome. But it even started using fire and water magic simultaneously, which didn't make any sense. Red figured out that the monster had multiple blessings, but first they had to worry about the meteorites that it had sent in their direction. Rudy used her sacred shield to deflect the meteorites back to the monster, and while the monster was down, they concluded that they had to lower its blessing with the Wind Elves' medicine. Yarandrala used the giant serpent made up of vines to immobilize the monster, while Red and Rit worked together to put the medicine in the monster's mouth. The monster immediately fell to the ground, as it couldn't even keep itself up without its blessings. The monster still tried to attack when Rudy approached it, but without its blessings, one punch from Rudy was enough to finish it off. Afterwards, the gems in the mines recovered their real appearance, while Rudy noticed carvings on the monster's body. Mogram was satisfied to finally obtain the Earth Crystal, and Red was also happy for him despite failing to find the blue sapphire he was looking for. The group enjoyed the beautiful view on their way back to Zoltan, although Mogram could only think of returning home to his wife. Meanwhile, Yarandrala decided to try living in Zoltan. She was curious why this place brought so much joy to both Red and Rit. Rudy happily approved Yarandrala's idea, so they decided to prepare for a welcoming party right away. At the same time, Van asked Lubo's approval to join the battle on the front lines. However, Lubo asked him to head out with Esta to defeat a monster and improve his blessings. But their conversation was interrupted when Lubo's subordinate reported that the former demon lord's warship was seen heading to Zoltan. Lubo decided to send a scout, and Van seemed interested in joining, but Esta and Lubo reminded him to focus on monster hunting and strengthening his blessings. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.